It's been a while, and I've been busy. So let's start. We have an intro logo now. That's cool. We have a credits thing. That's nice. Uh, we have a testing arena, which I'll show. The compendium has more stuff, icons specifically. These are free icons I found from itch.io. There will be placeholders. I'll probably find some others, but it helps with development when you have something there. I'll also probably tackle the model thing next, and the particle effects for like attacks and stuff. But one step at a time. There's a lot of enemy types now. A lot of classes, controllers, anything you would need to define somewhere. This is like the rule book for the game. I think I mentioned this already, but I think having everything in one place is very good for development. Because everything is defined here, down to the math that goes into dealing damage, for example. Everything is here. Now I think I mentioned this as well, I've forgotten, but I will hide most of this stuff for the actual players, because I think if you overwhelm a player with a lot of shit, it's usually too much, and they stop playing the game because they just get mentally overwhelmed. You play games to wind down, to not think too much, and you only want to think a lot if you really like the game. But I don't want to force it down a new player's throat. I think that's a mistake. I've played a lot of games like Hades, Mugenics, and Silksong, and all of those games, they start stupid easy in the beginning, and they slowly trickle. They like drip feed you more mechanics to keep you interested. It's a hard balance, and I'm trying to do the same. But for development's sake, I have to know everything. So it might look very complex now, but I will eventually simplify this as much as I can without making it confusing. And that's gonna be hard, but I'll do my best. Now, one interesting thing is I watched a interview with the developers of Eugenics, and Tyler Gleal, I think his name is. He talked about this method of ensuring the game is stable, and the game was Mutagenics, and he did this thing where he would go to sleep and run a bunch of tests, like in various scenarios, various builds, enemy types. He would throw two AIs at each other and see if the game broke. And I'm doing something similar here, not as automated as he's doing, but I have a bunch of assertions that make sure that the game actually runs as intended. If it doesn't, then it will crash. And if I go to sleep and check this, if I make this more thorough, it might take hours to do this. But if I wake up and there's an error, then I know how to fix it, because it's a thing. I think this is a very good way to make a game stable, because I can't play the game hundreds of times. I have to develop the game. I don't have time to think about the gameplay that much. Well, I do have to think about the gameplay, but I can't think about it from the player's perspective too much, because I am just one person. If I had a second person who would playtest my stuff, like this for example, something was stuck for too long and they didn't do anything, so it failed basically, and I'm gonna have to fix this now. But see how useful this is. I don't have to find somebody else to do this testing for me. I can just have the machine itself, throw itself against the wall until it breaks. Yeah. Well, hopefully that's it. That's all for now. Next time I'll probably start to tackle the models because these capsules are not really. They don't give me much in terms of feedback and sounds. Maybe music and sounds, but we're getting to a point where we have all the core mechanics you would need. Then it's all about polish, and then finally I can approach the problem, which is the shader. I really want to have the cross-hatching shadows, but I've talked to my friend Eskimos, and he told me a few times that it's just hard to look at. Like if you go to the devlogs for the previous game, which was the mirror game or whatever, if you went to the Reddit posts, the social media posts we did, you would see the same feedback. It's just, it looks cool, but it's really hard to look at, and I think I'll just have to focus on that once I meet this road. But before then, I have to make sure the game has some juice, some meat on its bones, and it's like fun without the graphics. If I get to that point, I keep repeating this, but it's just, I have to keep reminding myself that that's what this is all for. It's all for making a game that is fun to play. And that's it for today. See you next time.